People often compare Doubtful Sound to Milford Sound. I get it, it makes sense. They're two of the top attractions in Fiordland National Park. Both are fjords, even though they're called sounds. But visitors have argued that Milford Sound has more epic landscapes. It's also less expensive to see on your average day trip. And if you're taking a charter bus from Queenstown, it's going to be a 12-hour day rather than an 8-hour day to Milford. So if you're visiting this part of the world, you might wonder if it's worth your time and money on visiting Doubtful Sound. I know we did, but it's a journey, and I like journeys.
If I could start the story from the end, then maybe I could end all this.
Our journey started in Roxburgh, a small town in central Otago about 2.5 hours away from Manapouri. We got there, we checked in, and we started the first of 5 stages on our 7-hour day. Get out on the lake, and we are immediately greeted with fog, giving us some real strong Last of Us Part 2 vibes. It can be a little difficult to plan these more expensive day trips, especially in the wintertime here. I mean, this is at the end of June, like a week after the winter solstice. So we tried our best to book with a decent forecast in mind, but the reality is there are no guarantees. Little did we know that would make stage 5 of the trip a lot better. The clouds started to lift a bit as we got closer to land, and we could start to see some large power lines in the area that were all lit up. This is our first glimpse of Manapouri Power Station, one of the largest hydroelectric power stations in New Zealand that has a generation capacity of 850 megawatts. Our tour bus driver did say that could power the whole South Island. At first I'm like, oh cool, a power station, neato. But apparently it plays a pretty crucial role in New Zealand's electricity generation, and it provides a huge portion of the country's renewable energy. And we would soon find out that if it wasn't for the construction of this power station, we would not be seeing the fjord by road. Now this 21-kilometer stretch of road from Doubtful Sound to Manapouri Lake was built in the 1960s for the power station. It's one of the most expensive roads built in the country, and you need a special permit to drive on it from the Department of Conservation. The pass took about 45 minutes. Our tour guide was awesome, entertaining, slowed down for people to take photos, and really just provided a ton of great information while you're going through this truly unforgettable rainforest. You do start on the eastern side of the Southern Alps and cross over the divide to the western side, and for us, most of the eastern side was covered in cloud and fog, so we didn't really get the best view of anything anyways. I think we got lucky. Everything opened up for us. Head out on the water and you're immediately blown away by the sheer magnitude of the landscape. We were the only boat out there, and I was just not expecting that. I think that might help when it comes to seeing marine life because we were fortunate enough to see a decent amount, first of which were bottlenose dolphins. The captain spotted a few and headed in that direction, and then they were just jumping up through the wake on the back of the boat. They were swimming under the boat. They were beside us, underneath us. They were hanging out. They were having a good time. It was awesome. I don't think I got a whole lot of footage, but this might be the first time in my life where I've seen penguins actually like in the wild. You can get a really good craft beer while you're on the cruise. They had Canyon Brewing available. Though it's not Canyon Brewing, this beer is also brewed in Queenstown at altitude. Crisp with just a subtle citrusy hop flavor and very smooth. Oh man, that's just really good. As we made our way to the open water, or the mouth of the fjord, there was this giant New Zealand fur seal colony just hanging out in the sun on some rocks like they do. Which is cool. I mean, we've seen quite a few New Zealand fur seals here already, but one thing that we haven't seen was albatrosses. Albatrosses? I think that's right. Yeah, that's right. We've never seen an albatross before, so that was really cool for us. Just gliding along the back of the boat for a while too. But I will say that this cruise is also known to showcase some whales and some sharks as well. Humpback whales, orcas, southern right whales, though it is very rare, you can sometimes see a great white shark there. Outside of marine life, we were able to see probably over 100 different waterfalls. This was a 3-hour cruise, and there was constantly a magnificent view. This is a national park. Everything is untouched. I feel like I had to tell myself to put the camera away and just enjoy it, be in the moment. If you ask me, the 3 hours there is definitely enough time, because you do have a bit of a journey back as well. Getting back to the lake was a little quicker and quieter, and we could actually see what we were missing on the drive in. And on a day where you thought you had already hit the climax, there was more to see. Now, when I make a travel video, I will obviously show off the way to the destination, and usually the highlights there. But I don't typically show the way back because we've already seen it, and it usually gives me a chance to just put away the camera and experience it, through my own eyes. But because of our drive-in and the ferry ride being so covered in cloud and fog, it's like we were seeing this whole new place. These mountain ranges that surround Manapouri Lake in the Southern Alps were just so striking. It was golden hour and there was some clouds still hanging off some of these mountain peaks, but oh my god. So we come from just outside the Canadian Rocky Mountains, so sometimes mountains aren't always that mind-blowing to us, but these ones sure were. We were looking at the Kepler Range for the first time, along with the Cathedral Peaks, and I just couldn't believe how many people were just sitting inside the ferry scrolling on their phones on like TikTok. That blew my mind almost more than the landscape. Wow. Even getting back to the little ferry terminal, the pink sky was out for sunset. The water was like glass. Needless to say, we had an absolute blast. And it really wasn't that bad. It was $229 and we drove there ourselves. There was shuttle buses that came from Te Anau and Queenstown, so you could do that for a couple extra bucks. This video is not sponsored, but I will say that we booked everything through Real NZ directly through their website. Everything was clean, on time, well organized, and they had craft beer on the boat, so that was great to see. Doubtful Sound, it's a journey. It is a longer day, for sure. We booked 2 nights in Te Anau, which was just 20 minutes up the road, so we could explore Doubtful Sound one day, and Milford Sound the next. But more on that in the next one. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.